Hey everyone, real quick, I wanted to go over what the contracted rate is, what the allowed amount is, negotiated rate, whatever you want to call it. But the allowed amount, the negotiated rate, this is the most important part about having health insurance. And let me show you why. If I didn't have health insurance, in this example, this is an explanation of benefits for my wife giving birth to her third child. Um, the hospital billed $29,200 for this for us delivering the baby, right? Being in the hospital for 2 days, the doctors, the whole nine. They billed 29,200. If I don't have insurance, theoretically, the hospital can charge whatever they want, right? And maybe I have to help try to negotiate that down and say, hey, what if I pay cash or whatever the case is. With insurance, they have an allowed amount, a contracted rate, negotiated rate, again, whatever you want to refer to it as, where the hospital or the provider and the insurance carrier came to an agreement on what the hospital or the provider would be paid for certain services. In this situation, right, giving birth, being there for 2 days, and all the a variety of different things that got done, the allowed amount in this situation was 93.63, right? Like we see here at the top. Now that 93.63 gets put through my benefits, and again, you can kind of go to another video to learn how that works, but this is why you have insurance. So instead of you having to worry and negotiate and everything like that with the provider, the hospital, on trying to knock down this 29,200, you have these giant insurance carriers which are doing it for you. Now, this is obviously, again, a large amount, and this is a benefit for an in-network provider. And that's where, again, most of the magic happens when you're seeing doctors that are in-network. And that means that, again, that doctor, that provider, that hospital has agreed to certain price points for certain claims and services. So again, in this situation, this is a big claim of obviously having a baby, but what happens if we wanted to see a dermatologist? Well, what is that? Well, again, I can go to a dermatologist, I can knock on the door and say, hey, how much for cash? And they might say, oh, $200. They might say 300. They might say less. But when I have insurance, right, that number is already agreed upon. So with this carrier, when I walk in to see my dermatologist, that allowed amount that they agreed upon with the insurance carrier is $88.77. Now, again, depending on what plan I have, I might be responsible for a portion of that. The insurance carrier might be responsible for a portion, but that amount is set. That is the contracted rate, the negotiated rate, the allowed amount. And again, that's only going to apply if you're seeing in-network providers. Now, if I'm seeing, again, if I'm going to a telehealth, if I'm going to a primary care doctor, if I'm going to get lab work, whatever the case is, there's always going to be this allowed amount. So again, the allowed amount in conclusion is really the agreed upon rate for your claim, right? Your service that the provider and the insurance carrier have come to an agreement on. And again, you're only going to see this when you have an in-network provider. So try to stay in-network. It'll save you a lot of money in terms of out-of-pocket costs because your insurance carrier has already done the negotiating for you and bringing those costs down. We hope this was helpful in trying to help you understand what that allowed amount, that contracted rate, what it all means. See you soon.